I'm going to talk about the design process for making learning experiences in games. When we think about making games and developing games for the end user, the player, the first thing we go through is a development phase, which is the concept of the game itself. And the concept involves what are the learning goals, who's the audience. Then we go into a design phase where we think about the actual nuts and bolts of what the player is going to do in the game. Then we go through a prototyping phase where then we take all those ideas and we put them together in a playable fashion, but something that we can do really quickly so we can see what those results are. So one of the first things we would do is, in that concept phase, is really think about pre-visualization, what this game is going to look like. Because ultimately the learner is going to be looking at this game. It's kind of pretty much what you do the whole time. So visuals play a real big key part in this because picture is worth 1,000 words. And a lot of times a lot of good learning can come from the really good visuals. For example, a stem cell game that we're working on. It was really important for the player to understand and differentiate the different stem cells and how they looked from one to another. The audience is a neutral audience. They're gender neutral, so we have to make sure that it appeals to boys as well as girls. Again, if we're talking about teenagers or middle school. Familiarity is always good for players. So in this concept phase, even though we're just initially thinking about what this game is going to be, what the learning goals are, how we're going to go through the process of learning goals, we're thinking about the story, we're thinking about the actual gameplay mechanics themselves, like what does the player do. So pre-visualization is key in this stage because we can sit down with the target audience and show them some of these very early concepts of what this game may look like. And very early on in this process, we meet quite regularly with the content experts just to make sure that we're on track with what it is we're trying to do. And the game development process in itself, as making a game, is a learning process in its own. Because as the game makers, we need to be really familiar with the content itself. And so we almost, in a way, become experts and learn about this process as well. In the design phase, we're really getting down to the mechanics of the game. We're really nailing down the story of the game and how the learning goals are going to be part of the gameplay. It's really important for us when we make our games for learning that the learning is really embedded within the gameplay and not necessarily something you do to just progress on to another section or to progress on to a win state. It's something that should flow through the game and feel really a natural part of the gameplay progression. What makes the game interesting is the process to get to your goal. There's obstacles in your way. And the decisions that come in for you to get around your obstacle to your goal, those decisions is where the game takes place, is where the fun should take place, is where you're challenging the player to do something to get over that obstacle or through that obstacle, whatever it may be, so they can get to that goal and get to that win state and then say move on to the next level. So how do we know that we succeed at making a really good, fun learning game? Our stem cell game, when we had stem cell scientists play the games, they played it, went through the game, and one of the best compliments we got was when one of the scientists said, "Can I take this home to my husband so that he can play it and understand what I do at my work?" So to us, that let us know that we got the content right. We put that same game in front of kids, and the kids play it, and they're involved in the storyline, and they get to the end of the game, and they actually want to play more when the game ends, and they're like, "What? It's over? I want more." So that lets us know that we've succeeded in making an engaging game for them.